Hello, welcome, namaste. Thank you so much for being here and investing in this Ayurvedic trilogy, Yoga for the Doshas. My name is Amy Landry and I currently reside on the east coast of Australia. I'm a yoga teacher, a practitioner of Ayurveda. I'm a mum, I am an Odissi dancer, amongst lots of different things. And really integrating Ayurveda into yoga has been a big passion of mine over many, many years, because really yoga and Ayurveda are part of the same system. Yes, they are called sibling or sister sciences, but really we can't embody one without the other. And this is really, really important. And one of the reasons why I am so in love with and passionate about a lot of the art forms that come out of India. So with this trilogy, please don't limit yourself in thinking that you want to invest in or only use the sequence that is specifically for your dosha or your Prakriti. This is your birth constitution. Interesting to know, the word dosha itself means to spoil or to destroy, for example. And so this is really indicating that a dosha is in an imbalanced state, generally in an excessive state, and needs pacifying. And so we are all made up of all three doshas. We have Vata, Pitta, and Kapha within us. And so this is based on the 5-element theory. Like in Chinese medicine, Ayurveda is very much focused on the 5 elements. That's what everything is laid upon. So earth, air, fire, water, and ether. So Vata being ether and air, Pitta being fire and water, and Kapha being water and earth. Now, I elaborate on their qualities a little more in the introductory videos before each sequence, and so it's really important that you do invest time in watching those very brief videos to lay some context and foundation for you to have just a greater and more richer experience when you are doing the practice, and so you can be more attuned to how you're responding to the sequences and to the pranayama that is offered. These sequences are very accessible for all levels, and I have given some suggestions as to modifications and different alternatives, so please, you do you. And remembering that we must honor our intuition and our greatest needs, not necessarily our greatest desires or wants when we're practicing. So back to the 5-element theory, we take these into the doshas. And then we must understand that because our environment, which we are part of nature, we are nature. We are also made up of these 5 elements. We have them within us. So earth being like our muscles and our bones, those more dense qualities. Water being the fluids, urine, saliva, blood. Fire, our digestive fire, but also the sense of sight. So transforming information in our intellect, transforming our food through digestion and assimilation and metabolism. Air, the air we breathe, the prana in the body, and of course space, the space in which we occupy. So we are the 5 elements just like nature. And so there's this real important relationship that we must tap into that we tend to have sort of disconnected with in the world, that we are nature, and therefore having a great understanding of Ayurveda, even in an entry-level foundational way, can profoundly inform how we practice yoga. So it's a really helpful consideration that the doshas govern different times of the year. And so no matter what our constitution is, our Prakriti is, which is determined from birth and based just like genes, based on a combination of our parents. Even though you may know what this actually is, what is most important is understanding the dosha, the qualities that are predominant in you at any given moment. So that's your vikriti, your current state, and whatever is dominant in your nature around you. So perhaps you could consider the seasons. So stereotypically in autumn, this is Vata season. It's dry, it's windy, it's cooling down. It depends on where you live in the world, because seasons obviously really change. Like some countries have monsoon, some do not. Some have snow, some do not. But understanding that there is a doshic influence for each of the seasons is really relevant. So you might actually use these sequences to govern your sadhana, your practice throughout, each day, each month ongoing, and actually change it according to the seasons, which is a great thing to do with your diet and your lifestyle practices as well. That's that. But in addition, you've got to consider that the doshas govern different times of the day too. So if you're practicing between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., this is governed by kapha, and it's really helpful to perhaps consider doing a kapha pacifying practice, no matter what your constitution is. So giving consideration to the time of the day, the time of the year, but then not only the season, but what is literally happening in your environment today. Is it raining? Is it windy? What is the qualities? How do you feel? What have you been eating? What are the lifestyle practices that you've been implementing? So this is what's so magnificent about Ayurveda. It's not complicated, but it's complex. And with that complexity, it gives us so much wisdom, and it's such a gift that enables us to really tap into this innate intelligence that we have, just like nature is so incredibly intelligent and wise. And therefore, approaching yoga with this understanding of Ayurveda makes us able to embody that real wisdom and live it fully. These sequences that you're going to practice here are essentially structured, sequenced, based on my great appreciation and training in traditional tantric hatha yoga. In case that's of interest or curiosity to you, my background is in vast different styles of training. I don't like to put labels on anything, but that is a general understanding as to how the sequences and the postures and the breathwork has come together in this format. So I really, really hope that you find these sequences enriching, that you immerse in them all when they are relevant to you. There is so much that we can give consideration to with Ayurveda through our senses, our sensory experience, and not just the way that we move, but the way that we breathe, the way that we eat, even the colors that we wear and the textures that we wear and the things that we are doing, and all of these things with relevance to the different times of the day, the different times of the year, and then of course that base anchoring understanding of our own innate constitution. If you know your innate constitution, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, or a combination of any two or three, this of course will give you some insight into where you are most likely to fall out of balance or to be in excess. That generally tends to be the way. So my constitution is Vata Pitta, so I am far more likely to have an excess or imbalance or dominance of either of these doshas. And I need to cultivate the qualities of Kapha, which in a balanced state, not a doshic state, but a balanced state is the qualities of ojas. Yeah, and vata being more pran and pitta being tejas. So pran, tejas, and ojas are sort of the harmonious, balanced qualities in nature of the elements. And then when they have been spoiled or thrown out of balance, they become doshas and they become vata, pitta, and kapha. So that just gives you a really, really little understanding. Of course, Ayurveda is a very ancient science, thousands of years old. It's a Vedic science from southern India. And what I really, really admire about this system is that modern science is beginning to validate so much of what we have known to be true through Ayurvedic knowledge and wisdom for hundreds and thousands of years. And at the end of the day, I think this just comes back to this harmonious respect for and knowledge about and understanding of nature, okay, and maintaining that great harmonious relationship with ourselves and with the macrocosm around us. So I'm immensely grateful for the fact that you've chosen to be here, you've chosen to invest in this offering. It comes from the depths of my heart. Please reach out at any time if you need anything, if you have questions or feedback, or if you'd like to leave a positive review. I would be so great to hear from you and to hear your words and to hear of your experience. So it's a real pleasure, a gift, and a treat to really immerse in, relish in, revel in the great beauty of Ayurveda and yoga combined. This is a specialized approach in our modern Western world, and it's a real treat and a delight to share it with you. So thank you so very much again.